Good morning. This is April 6th, the day after Easter. Hoosier. This video is about my dog Hoosier. I posted a video. Of him. I was playing around with him yesterday, and it was a nice lady. I think she made there was a comment on the video, but it was, I guess she deleted it. I didn't really want to text because it's hard for me to text. I do a lot better communicating in a video, and I'm not really good at that, honestly. But so I'll give the story about Hoosier, aka Two Scoops. The lady's question was, why do I own a pit bull? And that she's scared of them, and she wasn't being judgmental, she said. So I respect that. I don't take it as judgmental. I just want to make a video because, again, I feel like by texting, I don't deliver very good in text messages. So first off, I've always owned dogs. I've had Labradors, Black Labs, Chocolate Labs. Hoosier, aka Two Scoops, he is my first pit bull. And, you know, I've always heard the same. I had a friend growing up, they had a pit bull. She was a good dog, friendly. But I've always heard the same about pit bulls. You can't trust them. They're aggressive, they're mean. And I've heard these same stories. And I was sketchy. And I'm still, with me and my wife or my family, I'm not sketchy one bit. Not one bit. But if you were to come to my house, you know, I monitor and I'm always there. Let him meet people. And once he knows them and gives them a person gives them some treats, he's best friends. So I've had Black Labs, Chocolate Labs. Now, I love watching the show. It's an old show called The Dog Whisperer. Caesar Milan. You know. I've always been able to communicate pretty good with my dogs. You know, he's a male, and you got to be the alpha, right? You gotta be stern, but not abusive by any means. And I would never be abusive to my dog, you know. But if you noticed in the video, hey, no, with him. And he understands, you know, like, that's why in the video, when I was playing tug of war with him, and I let him know, say, hey, let go of it. He plays a little bit, but he knows. And I'm telling you, he's the most gentle dog. And I'm going to explain to you how I got him, because it's not a dog that I would have just picked. I was doing a job. I was helping my aunt in town put up a cinder block wall for on a hill, dug it out for erosion control. And when I was at her house, I was in the backyard working, and the neighbor next door, there was a little black boy, and Hoosier at that time was probably, I'm going to say, 6-7 months old. He was on a chained into the middle of the yard, no collar, just a chain around his neck real tight. And I was working, and I seen Hoosier over there on the chain, and the little boy come out, and the little boy was on the ground and just punching him, you know. And I said, hey, and the little boy looked at me, and I said, hey, stop hitting that dog, you know. You don't hit that dog no more. And he just kind of looked at me, and, you know, so that kind of disturbed me. I got done doing, and it bothered me all day because I kept looking at him over there with that chain around his neck in the middle of the yard, you know. And I went back home, and I said to the wife, I said, hey, I was over there at my Aunt Sharon's house, and, you know, it just bothered me. I said, I got to go back over there this evening. And I told her, I said, look, if that dog's loose, I said, I'm gonna bring that dog home. Now, I'm not proud to say that I took this dog, but I did. So I went back to my aunt's house, and the dog, he was loose. And I went to the fence, and I got down low, and I said, shh. And he come over, and he was all skittish, and you know, looked nervous, and was licking me through the diamond of the chain link. But he was right there, so I decided to reach over the fence. I'm a short guy, only 5'8", and I reached over, and I grabbed him, and I actually, like, cracked a few ribs doing this. It was the first time I've cracked ribs, and it was painful after the fact. But I leaned over, and my rib cage was on the top rail of the fence, and my feet were in the air, and I grabbed him, and I pulled him over. And when I did that, that's when I cracked my ribs, because I had all my weight and his weight. And I pulled him over and brought him over, and I put him in my truck, and I took him home. Now, when I got him, around his neck from that chain, he had like a scar, you know, like his hair was worn out and he had a scar. And at that time, we had chickens in the yard and everything. Now, this was my first time having a pit bull, but I felt like I was rescuing him. And I'm not proud to say that, you know, taking that dog, but so I had chickens, and I wasn't sure about them. And I was out there gardening, and he would hang out, and he didn't mess with the chickens or anything. So I was like, you hear all these stories about these pit bulls and them being aggressive. Now, there was one guy that would walk to the fence, and he would bark at that guy pretty hard. But that guy showed up with a pistol. That guy gave me an uneasy vibe. So Hoosier was sensing something in this guy. The same thing I was sensing. So at a very young age, he was being protective. But that's how I ended up with him. Now, I named him Hoosier, Hoosier, for the Hoosier racing tire. 2 scoops is because of his ears. You know, a lot of people take pit bulls and they clip their tails and they give them little sharp ears. But I didn't do none of that, you know. He's my buddy. And so we call him 2 scoops because when he hears something, he'll put his scoops up. Ooh, like his little radars, and he's listening. But I just want to say, I believe dogs, I mean, they're a product of how you raise them. And Hoosier is probably one of the best big dogs I've owned, and I've owned many growing up. I've had some little dogs too. Sheep's my little dog, and you know, Hoosier's awesome with him, especially now that he's blind. Hoosier doesn't, you know, mess with his food. Sheep kind of rules the house when he could see. Now that Sheep's blind, Sheep was the one I always worried about, trying to go after him. When Hoosier would go out the door, try to come in, Sheep would be at his heels. But that's the story of Hoosier, a.k.a. 2 Scoops. I got him. He's probably about 9 years old now. I'm going to say right around 9. When you hear him growling, and he likes to play tug of war with my wife, and he'll be a little more aggressive with her because he knows he can pull her off the couch, and he's just playing. That's the thing. If you watch him, he listens, he obeys. When he takes food from you, he is more gentle than Sheep is, or any Labrador I've had. He is protective of the yard and the home. We keep our gate chained, not just the fork, you know, like double drive gate. I put a chain around it, this way he can't push. But he doesn't really bother or look to go after nobody. Now, if you knock on my door and the glass door's open, but again, right there, once he knows I'm there and I'm like, hey, he backs up. So if that lady ever sees this video, the pit bull just happened to be a circumstance. I was real sketchy. I get it. But I'm have no regrets. He's the most loving, most kind, most gentle dog. He likes to play. He throws. Man, he is talented. He's smart. He's super smart. So, stereotypes I learned right then, you know. And owning one, and I respect this, you know, campsites, campgrounds, places like that, they do steer you away from allowing them dogs in there. And I respect that. You know, if he was to get in a fight with another big dog, he'd be hard to handle. But he's an inside, he's been neutered. He's an indoor dog. He's really fat. He likes to think he's muscular, but he's really fat. And he's just a big, gentle baby. And that's the story of Two Stoops. You know? He's my buddy. Gentle. Good boy.